Let's get into this quick and healthy batch meal prep for families. And I am seasoning some organic. This was a triple pack of drumsticks from Costco, and I'm doing Himalayan pink sea salt. I'm going to put some other seasonings. You can season it with whatever you would like. I just make all 3 of those packs at one time. Then I'm going to go in with some garlic and some ground oregano and some thyme. You could use rosemary. You could use fresh garlic, whatever you like. Just go in with whatever it is your family enjoys. Salt to taste, pepper, all of those things. I really like getting this big pack because it's really economical as far as the price. You're getting an organic cut of meat, and not just that, you can, which is what I like to do a lot, is I will bake all of it off, roast it all off at one time, and then pops half of this in the freezer for the next week. That's how I like to batch prep. That's what it looks like. I'm just seasoning this one side. As it cooks, I'll season more. Next, you've seen it before, but this is roasted butternut squash is what I'm going to do with this. I just scrub the outside, I peel it with a vegetable peeler, and then I go ahead and cut off the top and the bottom. I grab a bowl that I'm going to use to add my oil, my cooking oil, as well as my seasoning, so everything gets a nice toss. The chicken I'm not as picky about as far as getting seasoning all over, because I know I'm going to flip it anyways after it cooks, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And then after I cut off the top and the bottom, I like to cut it into rings, because that just seems like that's just the easiest way that I've found to cut this butternut squash. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Butternut squash is packed with beta carotene, which is such an amazing vitamin for our bodies that we need for so many processes. But I'm going to go ahead and cut those into rings, and then I am going to go ahead and cut kind of the circle out. I get my paring knife instead of that big knife that I had. I take all the seeds out, and then from there, I'm going to go ahead and melt down 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. You can use whatever oil you like. I'm going to add that to my bowl. And I love this little scooper. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law got it for me years ago, and I use it like crazy. So we're going to pop that in a bowl, and then I am going to add my melted coconut oil. Then I'm going to add whatever seasonings that we like. You add whatever it is that you like. I really like the flavor of rosemary, garlic, onion, salt, and thyme on butternut squash. I just think it brings out such a different flavor. It's really good. You can roast this butternut squash, and what I love about it is it's another thing that freezes really well. So say we're through day 2 of, eating this, and we want something different. Instead of letting it go bad, I'll pop it in the freezer, and you can take it out and add it to soups. You can add it to stews, all that good stuff. I am going to do my first rotation of the chicken that's been roasting in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes at 425 degrees. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to season the other side the same way. And then I'm going to put it back in there until it's done. I like my chicken to be really done. So sometimes I will roast it for about an hour. I'm popping that in. Next, I'm going to do our pasta, which is just the ground beef that I like to get from Aldi or Butcher Box. We're going in with some red lentil pasta. That's a great gluten-free option if you can't have regular noodles. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to add my favorite pasta sauce. This is from Aldi. It's $2 in my area, and it has the best ingredients in my opinion. So good. It's so hard to find pasta sauce that doesn't have canola oil in it or soy oil or sugar. So I always add some baby spinach, usually 2 cups of that, to my pasta. That's what it looks like when it's done. My husband really likes that, and so does my son. There's the butternut squash that's roasted. And then from there, we've got the chicken. That's what it looks like when it's all done. And I love to go ahead and cook other sides while I'm making my proteins. There is the pasta. We've got everything in a glass bowl, especially when things are hot. The last thing you want to do is put it in plastic. So then we have our roasted sweet potato cubes. I made it the same way that I made our butternut squash. There is our chicken. And then I have that butternut squash as well. I really like getting in root vegetables. To me, it's one of the best complex carbs that you can get in outside of. Next up, we have just some air fried asparagus, super easy, a little bit of coconut oil and seasoning. And then I just sauteed some kale, and those are our greens to go with it. Be sure to subscribe for some more healthy living inspiration.